Hi guys, here is Giovanni.
And this is Alice.
Thank you so much to be with us in Jumper Bunch. Please, just to remind you, click to the subscribe, click to the ring bell to have all the latest updates about our channel. So we're gonna have today, Alice.
Let us introduce Monique and Kortenaar, one of the most important women in the spirit industry in Holland. And first of all, she's the mind behind the creation of OTENBA.
Let's check it out.
Let's check it together.
In a world where we're forced to choose,
Two gins. To Jenever.
to make an impossible
To
choice,
Jenever. Two gins. Jenever, two. Two gins.
breaking all the rules of what spirit should be.
What do you want?
In that world, there's one woman. Uniting gin and Jenever, it's OTENBA. The depth and strength of Jenever join forces with a fragrant gin to change the world we drink in. A sorta gin, a kind of Jenever. It's OTENBA.
First of all, thank you, Monique, to be with us today. We really appreciate for your collaboration. The first question that we would like to ask you is if you would like to do a little bit of introduction of yourself, and as we know, you create a new product, so if you can also explain a little bit about it.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Well, I'm Monique and Kortenaar. I'm a distiller. I work for a few brands actually, all based under Lucas Bols. And I just started my own brand.
Different, you have your own business now, and you also work for Lucas Bols, but you also part of something else, right?
The Scotch Malt Whiskey Society, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. They actually asked me to be their new Dutch brand ambassador.
Okay, can you please, I don't know, explain us more or less which is the concept behind OTENBA, and why did you choose to start? I mean, why did you decide to start this? Where is products? I mean, just a small background of this.
The product is actually an ode to my grandfather that used to be a perfumer. And he was actually the executive, chief perfumer for Asia. So he traveled a lot back in the days to Asia, and especially also to Japan. And he really loved the Asian culture and especially Japan. And he always came back with nice stories about the country and the people, and he took souvenirs with him. And so as a little girl, I was really interested in what my granddad was doing, so the perfumer job, but also all the stories about the Asian culture and the Asian people. And so actually that's a important part also why I use the Asian flavors.
Okay, can you please, I don't know, explain us more or less which is the concept behind OTENBA?
So I'm a distiller already for a few years, and I made a lot of products, Genevers and gins as well. And although gin is quite favorite to people to drink, Jenever is not. But actually Jenever is the Dutch local spirits. So if you, for instance, have vermouth, it's more from Italy. You have a lot of local stuff that people are proud to present to friends from other countries, for instance. And actually the Dutch don't do that much. They just take any spirits and just when they go to friends in other countries, they just don't mind to take other spirits like rum or whatever, but they never most of the times they don't take Jenever, while we actually should be proud of this product, I think. And that's also what I discussed with Giovanni. You know, we just discussed a lot in the industry about the thing, because in what way we could have people to actually drink Jenever and try Jenever, because a lot of people don't even want to try because it has a really old-fashioned type of image. So a lot of people think it's like an old man's drink. While it actually can be really close to gin, because there are some similarities. So that's why I wanted to start this.
A sorta gin, a kind of Jenever. It's OTENBA.
Okay. So basically, what is OTENBA? It's something maybe in between, as far as I know. It's something in between Jenever and gin. So it's something new, basically.
Actually, it's both.
Okay.
So it's a gin and a Jenever.
I don't know, any special mention about the kind of botanicals you have, kind of inspiration? I don't know if you can talk about this, the ingredients of these products.
What I did is use the main ingredients of gin and, on the other hand, Jenever, and they actually have similarities. And started from there, and then took some things I thought were interesting next to it, like the flavor profiles that would fit into what I was trying to do. And actually, there are a lot of Asian botanicals in it. Yeah, because it has a backstory, and I actually like Asian flavors. You see it a lot in the kitchen, and it's getting more into the spirits industry as well. So I thought, yeah, with the whole story behind it and the nice flavors, I thought that would be the best way to do it.
For example, I mean, you told us about Asian influences. That is something that you really like, so you want to put into your brand. I mean, just to try to carry on and to put in the brands your passion about Asia. Any special Asian botanicals or special flavors that we can recognize drinking maybe and sip in your product?
The pandan
Okay.
leaf. Yeah. There's, I think at the end, some people will recognize there's sansho pepper in it, because it gives like a tingling feeling on the tongue.
Okay.
A bit of lemongrass, so that gives that like fresh note to it. Yeah. And some green tea, some Sencha tea.
A little bit about the production of the Jenever, that is completely different from the production of gin, as we know. So you do in the same way how you produce the Jenever, right? So it's basically, how is work your distillation process? Is the same way how you produce Jenever, or is the same way how you produce gin, or maybe it's both?
It's actually a bit of both. So for Jenever, of course, you need to have malt spirit. So we make that first, and with the adding of the malt spirit, we distill the other ingredients. Only the things that we add separately is the pandan and the sansho pepper, because those are really like strong ingredients, and if it's not working like well in the distillation, then you will get like a completely different profile. So those are really like ingredients that will that I add at the end, because I don't want to have those be overpowering in the drink. So it should be like subtle.
So I guess also that you tried it a lot to combine these ingredients before to finalize the final recipe, right?
Yeah, I made some tests, so of course, yeah.
And which kind of grain spirits do you use for the product?
I use barley, rye, and corn. And corn gives it a bit of sweetness to it.
So if we go now to the look of the bottle, right? So we saw that is a really nice label with this black bottle.
Yeah.
Any reason why you decide both? I mean, because of what I can see is you have the really new style label, but with the really typical old bottle. Any reason why the bottle is black, or Why is the reason why you decided to blend all of this? That is actually something that is really cool.
Well, you helped me choose as well. But like it's actually a stoneware bottle is actually really used a lot in the history of Jenever as well. In the history, you see that when they couldn't like do the transport in cars and stuff, even before that time, they put the jugs or stoneware bottles, as we call them, on the river, and they could like go on the river, transport it to someone else, like to the. So besides that, you also don't have the problem with the light influences. So with glass bottles, if you put it like behind a light or in the sunlight, you can have like influence on your spirit, on color, but also on taste. So I thought this was the best way to protect your products.
So very good. I mean, as mentioned before, even when Giovanni showed me for the first time this bottle, I mean, I've been very impressed by the beautiful packaging. I mean, really attracted from this black color, and I mean, I think it's very good and it's very nice to see with the lights of the bar and this black bottle. It was really fascinating. There is something that you have in mind for the perfect serve of your product as well. I mean, this beautiful bottle, it comes in the bar, and I mean, as soon as the guest comes in, it's captured about the color and the drink that you have inside. There is a perfect serve just to combine all these good ingredients of this pack.
Well, actually, we are still working on it because I had some bartenders in Amsterdam that were helping me on that. But of course, because of the whole situation now, it's a bit, delayed. But actually, the thing is, you can use it in cocktails that you normally use gin in, or the other way. Also like cocktails that you normally use young Jenever in. So actually you have like more possibilities to put them in. So the classic cocktails, a lot of them were probably are probably working well. But like for people at home, for instance, or people that don't like want to have like sophisticated cocktails, it goes well with tonic and ginger ale as well. So it's both, yeah. So even though it's a Jenever, what normally doesn't work well with tonic, this one does.
How do you feel that the reaction? I mean, how it was the reaction of the people when you come out with the product and I guess you've been around and asked bartenders to give feedbacks and try cocktails. How did they found the product? What was the reaction of the people?
Yeah, they were really positive, actually. I was surprised that it was so positive. But the thing I did when I made my last 3 samples, I actually invited people from the industry to do a tasting with me. And they helped me choose the right sample. So they actually made remarks and stuff about it. And but I didn't have to fine tune a lot. It was just like one I think the sansho pepper was the essential thing that I added, and the rest was okay like it was. So yeah, that was actually nice that I had people from the industry being involved in the last part, and I think that helps as well. But yeah, the comments were really positive, and bar manager and bartenders also said like it's actually a Jenever and a gin. So what you promised is actually there.
True.
Yeah.
The name, where the name is coming from? How you do decide to have OTENBA? Because also it sound really really nice already, the name and the sound that you have. I think when you see the bottle, you say the name, I guess is it makes sense. It's going all together nicely. That's what I feel.
Okay. Okay. Well, the name was actually the hardest part because I was looking into history and like female distillers or yeah, something I could link to Jenever like from history and but still sound nice. Well, that was like hard because all the old Dutch names are the worst names in the world. So that didn't work out. So yeah, I was actually sitting in the bar in London by myself during the day, and I was thinking about it, and I remembered that a Japanese friend told me that there were a lot of words in Japanese that were coming from Dutch words. And I didn't know anymore what, because he had one word that he said like, actually that's you, Monique. And but I didn't remember the word anymore. So I texted him. I was like, what was the word again? And then he said OTENBA, but that was actually the Dutch word. So I said, yeah, but what's the Japanese word? And he said OTENBA. I was like, yeah, this should be it. This is it, because it means rebellious girl, like tomboyish girl, like someone who's not walking the line, like who's like doing her own thing and doesn't mind what other people think about it. So not following the rules, actually, like it's a girl that acts more like a boy, for instance, so doesn't follow the traditional lines. So I thought, yeah, I'm actually doing the same with the spirit, because when I have to do presentations at my work, I always need to emphasize the differences between a gin and Jenever. And I was thinking it could be actually both. So I'm a bit rebellious by doing this. So I thought that's the perfect word for it. It's the perfect name. So and it's coming from Dutch, from the Dutch language. So that's even better because it's a traditional Dutch product. So yeah,
It's a very nice stories indeed. I mean, behind the name, very interesting one. Really like it. I really like the choose of the name.
thanks. Yeah, and it fits also the Asian botanicals, and there's of course some Japanese botanicals in it as well. And yeah, the whole story behind it. So yeah, that's how we came up with it.
I mean, you mentioned about choosing the name by yourself and struggling with the choosing of the name.
Yeah.
Because this is what it really is. I mean, a business that you start by your own. Is that correct?
Well, I don't know if I can tell people, but yeah, I think I can. Actually, Giovanni was one of the people that was well involved in the whole like road to it, and we were actually discussing about starting something together. But with the whole move to Kuala Lumpur of Giovanni and all the stuff that was happening in our lives, it was, yeah, not the time or not the thing to do together, I think. But I didn't want to leave the idea on the shelf. So like I wanted to go on with this, and even people around me said like, Monique, you should do this. Yeah. And I'm not that young anymore either. So if I'm going to do and start something, I want to do it now.
Okay, Monique, I would like to thank you so much to be today with us. It was a really pleasure to talk with you, and I hope everything is gonna go well with OTENBA and all the product. And I would like to wish you the best and good luck for this project.
Thanks.
And thank you again for your time. And I hope we're going to meet soon.
Thanks again. Thanks again
Yeah, you
for
too.
being with us. And I hope to see you soon too, really. And best of luck for your new products. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you. And you with the bar.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.